Okay, great. I can see a couple of yeses. Very good, thank you. Okay, I'll keep my video on throughout the session as well. As you can see, I'm working from home today, as most of us. So hope everyone is also safe and enjoying at least some of the time. Yes, no, maybe. All right, good. Okay, we'll be using the chat throughout our session today. I will be asking you questions and I will be asking you to participate. Also, at some point, I will pair you up with someone else, so you will have to work actively. Some people are saying, no, I don't hear. If you cannot hear me, I'll send a message. I'll send a message with instructions on what to do if you cannot hear me. Just a minute, please. Okay. All right. Okay. If at some point you stop hearing or seeing me, I'll just say it first. If at some point you stop hearing or seeing me, please quit the program if you're using the program or reload the website. Sometimes the problem is just very technical. If it doesn't help, please call our office. I will send the phone number into the chat. I'm just sending a message into the chat so that people who cannot hear me can join us. It will take 1 minute. Okay. Okay. All right, good. So looks like everyone can hear us now and everyone is muted, so we can start. Okay, before we move on, there is one little thing I'd like you to try and do. We might need it during the session. If you're using an app, can you please find the control bar and find participants or участники there and open the list of participants. At the bottom, you should see a little bar with different icons. So there is a green button with yes, a red cross with no, go slower, go faster, okay? Can I ask you to please, yes, click on the green yes if you found it, okay? Just click on the green yes and it will appear next to your name. We will be using this in our session today. Okay. All right, good. A couple of people have done that. I'll give you instructions and I promise then we move on to our lesson. So I'll share my screen so that you can see what I see. Oops. Okay. If you haven't found the control bar and if you are unable to send me an icon yet, have a look at my screen. It's just loading. So on my screen, you will see what I see. At the bottom, yeah, and at the top at the bottom I have the black line and it says manage participants. Please click on manage participants and there you will find the list of participants and here you see the green button which I'm asking you to send. I'll just check how many people have done that. Okay, quite a lot of you. Excellent. Excellent, very good. Very good. So, I think we can start there. Once again, welcome to this webinar dedicated to asking questions correctly. We will spend sorry, problem with the sound. We'll spend 1 hour thinking about the questions. And before we start, let me just introduce myself and say why I am doing what I'm doing. My name is Kate, and I work as Director of Teacher Training at Grade Education Centre, where I manage the department, and I also run CELTA, Delta, CELT-P, and CELT-S courses. They are courses for teachers or those who want to become teachers of English. I've been teaching since 2007 and doing teacher training since 2012, and I can see some familiar names, some people who I've taught in the past. It's really nice to see, and some people who I've met at conferences and in general. So the plan for today is to first of all make my computer work and move the slides. All right. So the plan, we're going to look at word ordering questions in general. We're going to look at questions about possession, subject-object questions, questions with prepositions, negative questions, and practice asking those questions correctly. And the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is to have a look at 6 answers. And from those answers, I'd like you to think about what questions should be asked. Now, if you can access the chat, please find the file which says task 1. If you cannot access the chat, have a look at the Word document, which you can see on my screen. You see 6 sentences. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to make notes of the questions which you think can be asked to receive those answers. I'll do one for you, okay? So the first one, the answer is yes, German and French. What do you think the question is? Please type your question and send it into the chat. Okay, if you haven't found the chat, it's where the 3 little dots are, and there is the word chat. Okay. What languages do you speak? Do you speak any languages? Do you speak German? Can you speak foreign languages? Good. Okay, I'll give you the answer to this one. The question actually is, can you speak a foreign language? But your options are also okay. Now, take 5 minutes, okay? And please type your questions. You can type them in a Microsoft Word program or in the notes, anywhere. I'll be quiet for now to give you some time to think. Please do not send your questions into the chat just yet. We'll do it a little later. Okay, I can see some people have already done that. Let's just wait 1-2 more minutes while more people finish, and then we'll share our ideas. Good, thank you. When you're ready, please send a plus into the chat. Good, I can see more people are ready. Excellent. All right. Good, good, good. Excellent. All right, now I'm going to give you the answers and I'm going to give you 2 minutes to check yourself. Please do not delete what you have written, okay? Rather, please either take a screenshot or type my answers below your answers. Have a look here. On the screen, you can see the answers. I'll just be quiet for a minute so that you can check yourself. Good. Okay, I've made it bigger because someone has asked to make it bigger. Okay, in a minute, we're going to look at those questions in more detail. Perfect. Perfect. I can see some of the people are joining. I won't be stopping and giving instructions again. We'll be going through the lesson. Please, those who have just joined, please work with us. We're now just looking at the questions and the answers, and we're going to look at some possible questions in more detail. So let's go to the first and the second question. Over here, we have 2 questions. Can you speak a foreign language? And what languages can you speak? What's similar between those questions and what is different? All right. I won't be asking you for your answers. Let's just save a little bit of time here. Both questions are about foreign languages, so that's the similarity here. The difference is that the first question is a yes-no question. It requires a very simple answer. The second one is a special WH question. It requires more information and we cannot answer it with a yes or a no. Okay, obviously in standard lessons which we have at grade, I would give you some time to discuss this in pairs and then would get the answers from you. But here, because we have 53 participants today, I think it would take a little bit of time. I promise I will give you a chance to work in pairs a little bit later. So my question, which I'd like you to answer, and please send your answer into the chat, What is the word order in a yes-no question? And what is the word order in a special question? All right. I'll give you a hint. If you look at the question, can is a special type of verb. You is also a special type of word. And speak is also a special type. Okay, I can see some answers. And speak is also a special type of verb. All right. I'll just wait for a minute so that you can send your answers into the chat. Alex has sent a very interesting idea. I'm going to explain that in a couple of minutes. Can, subject, verb. Good. WH, can, subject, verb. Okay, good. So in both sentences, we have two verbs, can and speak. One of those verbs carries the meaning, all right? The other verb doesn't carry the meaning, well, carries very little meaning, but helps us with the grammar in the sentence. My question is, what do you call the verb which carries the meaning, which is central in the sentence? Please send your answer into the chat. So once again, the question is, what do you call the verb which has the meaning in the sentence? Yeah, main verb, that's correct. Main verb, and in the sentence it's used in the infinitive. The second verb, which doesn't carry a lot of meaning and serves for the grammar purpose, we call it auxiliary. I'm going to send it into the chat so that you see how it's spelled. Auxiliary. Okay, cool. So I was asking you to give me the word order, and yes, that's right. In yes-no questions, the word order is auxiliary, subject, and infinitive, or main verb in the infinitive. And in special questions, we have a question word, auxiliary, subject, and infinitive. Alex sent this idea a little bit earlier into the chat. In order to memorize this more effectively, we use asi and quasi, or Alex called it wazi, where A stands for auxiliary, S stands for subject, and I stands for infinitive. Quasi, question word, auxiliary, subject, infinitive. So just the first letters. All right. We're not going to spend a lot of time here. I can see that you know the word order. This is just a little bit of revision. So let's move on. And I'm going to ask you to look at those two questions. Have you got a pet? And do you have a favorite film? I'm most interested in the difference between those. If you can see the difference, can you please type what it is into the chat? Stay with me for a couple more minutes. I promise there will be pair work and group work in 2 or 3 minutes after this. Have got have. Good. And that's right. I have a feeling that we have quite a lot of people who are not B1, B1 plus level here, not even B2. You're slightly higher, which is perfect. But I hope that this revision will still be valuable for you. So yes, you're right. Both questions are about possession. However, the first question uses have you got, while the second question uses do you have. Now, there is a common belief. It's not a rule, but there is a common belief that when we use have you got, we talk about something we physically possess. So a pet is something we can touch, yeah? Whereas a film is not something we possess, which is why we use do you have here, all right? Now, why am I focusing on this? On a very important thing. When native speakers use those questions, they tend to respond with the grammar we hear the question in. So if you hear, have you got a pet? It would not be very correct to say, yes, I do. It's more appropriate to say, yes, I have a dog and a goldfish. Whereas in response to the question, do you have a favorite film? I do is more correct than I have. Tatiana is saying that this is American and British English. And yes, that's very correct. American English uses one option, British English uses the other option. You tell me which one. Yes, that's very true. You can use both, and the orders, if you like, and the difference is very, very minimal here. Now, the rule to remember is the way we ask the question is the way we should be answering. Now, we're going to practice, and this is the moment where, like I promised, I'm going to put you into groups and you're going to work. Now, first of all, I will put you into groups. I will also unmute you, so you will be able to speak to each other. If you have the microphone, please speak. If not, please type your answers into the chat. I will put you into bigger groups just in case some people are not participating actively. You're going to be 4 participants in one room. Before we do this, have a look. Those are the questions I'd like you to use. I'm going to ask you to formulate the questions and discuss those questions with your group, all right? Now, pay very close attention to which you should be using. Have got or do you have? Is it about possession or not? Also, pay very close attention to how the question was asked and how you should be responding. Can you please take a screenshot? If you cannot take a screenshot, you can see that I am making a screenshot. I'm going to send it to the chat. So that you can download it and use it. Okay, I'll give you 1 minute to download the questions or to take the screenshot. While you are doing this, I am putting you into groups. Now, you will be directed into rooms automatically. And when time ends, you will leave the room automatically and will come back to the main session. You will come back here. If you finish early, you can totally come back to the main session as well, and we can discuss your answers all together. Okay. Be careful, I'm going to unmute you all now, so it might be a little noisy. All right. And I'm creating breakout rooms. You will have 5 minutes for this task. Hi, how are we doing? Do you have the questions? Everything okay? Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good, good. Okay, please discuss the questions, how you would formulate the questions here. I can see you're doing that in the chat. So I'll leave you to work with this. how are we doing? I can see that Natalia is unmuted, but everyone else is muted. Are we okay? Are we working?
I don't understand what happened.
I put you into a room with the other people so that you can discuss the questions.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. How are we doing here? All good? Are we working?
Yeah.
All right, good.
Thank you.
Okay, I can see 3 people here, but only Irina is unmuted. Are we discussing, are we working here? How is everything? Nope. Irina, can you hear me? Would you like me to move you to a different room? No answer, okay. Nina, are you alone here? In this room? It looks like you might be. Okay, I can see some people.
I understood that we use have got when we can to fill this object. Maybe yes. We use have got, and when we cannot to fill this, we have to say, do you have? What do you think about this?
I think that
Okay, I can see some people back in the main session. How is everything? Have we discussed the questions?
Yes, of course.
Good, good, good. All right, we'll just wait for a minute or two for everyone else to finish and join us back in the main session. I'll mute you for now so that we don't hear any noises. Good, everyone is muted, I think. Okay, we're just making sure everyone is back. I'm muting everyone so that we don't hear any background noises. Once again, I'm muting everyone so that there is no background noise. Now, I was entering some of the rooms and I could see that some people were working more actively, some people were working less actively. Because we have such a big group today, 45 participants, chances are that you were unable to work with someone else. people might be just having this webinar in the background. Again, in our real lessons, the groups are small. The groups are normally 8, 10 people. So the teacher can put you into little pairs, little groups, and can actually monitor how things are going. So let's discuss together. A car, yeah? So 2 questions were possible. Do you have a car? And have you got a car? And depending on the question you ask, the answer would be yes, I do, or no, I don't. And yes, I have, or no, I haven't. A favorite song? What do you think is more appropriate? Do you have or have you got? Send do or have into the chat. Do. Yes. Again, it's not a rule. It's just a convention. It's what a lot of people think. Good. Now, the next one is a favorite band. Do or have? Please send your word into the chat. Yes, do. All right, good. And the answer would be yes, I do. It's something. All right, good. How about a lot of free time now? Do or have? Now, this one is tricky. Do. Okay, perfect. Yes, that's right. How about plans for tomorrow evening? Do or have? Good. Excellent. Do. Have is also possible. Again, it wouldn't be entirely incorrect, but it's less typical. Okay, how about a brother or a sister or a brother? Do or have? Have you got a brother or a sister? All right, and I haven't, and depending on your situation, you would say, yes, I have, or no, I haven't. And a pen I could borrow, have or do? Have. Perfect. Yes, excellent. Absolutely. All right. I think we can move on here, and I'm going to tell you a little story. I have 2 friends. Their names are Jack and Sarah. They've been friends for a long time now, and they speak regularly. Especially because of the current situation, they cannot see each other very often, but at least they can speak on the phone. So every evening they call each other and they speak on the phone. All right? Now, have a look at the 2 answers below and think about the questions. What do you think the questions would be? Please type your answers into the chat. I'll just be quiet for 2 minutes while you're doing this. I haven't shared the screen. I'm sorry. Totally forgot about it. Yeah. Here is my screen. Have a look. So, we have 2 answers. Sarah called Jack yesterday, and Sarah did. What do you think the answers are? Have a look. Type your questions into the chat box. Interesting. I can see so many various questions. Good. All right. First things first, remember, when we are asking a question, we have auxiliary verb, then subject, and then infinitive. So would it be correct to say, did Sarah called Jack? No, it wouldn't, definitely. So if you want to ask this question, the question would be, did Sarah call Jack yesterday? All right, I'll give you the answers. And those are the two questions. Which question matches with answer A and which question matches with answer B? Into the chat, please send 1A to B or 1B to A. Yeah, perfect, excellent. Now, I will explain. Some people are saying Sarah called Jack yesterday is good for number one. And yes, that's true. Yes, Olena, you have a question. I will answer it later in detail, but yes, you can say so. So some people want to say Sarah called Jack yesterday is a good response to both. Yes, absolutely. All right. Now, the difference is if we want to ask who called Jack yesterday, the very short answer would be Sarah. And in response to the second one, who did Sarah call yesterday? The short response would be Jack. Okay? Now, let's look at the structure together. All right? We have this sentence, the sentence Sarah called Jack yesterday, which would be good for both. All right? Now, Sarah, what role does it play in the sentence? Can you please send the answer into the chat? What role does it play in the sentence? Is it okay? So people are saying it's a subject. Absolutely, that's right. How about Jack? What role does it play in the sentence? Object. Yes, that's very correct. So here we are looking at the difference between subject and object questions. Over here, who called Jack yesterday? Sarah called Jack yesterday evening, all right? And who did Sarah call yesterday? Sarah called Jack yesterday evening. Now, if you think about the answers, where would be the stress in those sentences? In the first sentence, would you stress Sarah or would you stress Jack? Send S or J. Perfect, absolutely. Sarah. And in the second one, obviously, we would stress Jack. Now, how do we identify how we ask this question? All right. If you look at the first question, over here, we have who called Jack yesterday. So, if we think about this, Sarah called Jack, who called Jack? Is there any difference in the word order? And the answer is definitely no. So in the answer, we have subject plus verb plus object. Okay, and if our question is about the subject, we leave the same word order in the question. So who is the subject in this question? However, in the second one, who did Sarah call yesterday? Sarah called Jack yesterday. We do not save the word order. The word order changes. So in the question, it becomes who plus, remember we called it auxiliary, plus subject plus verb. All right. Irina is asking me, can we say whom? Yes, that's also possible. It's more spoken. It's less used in written English, but yes, we can say so. All right. So once again, we have subject and object questions, and the difference between those is in the word order. Let me just summarize it for you once again. Who plus verb plus object is question about subject. Who plus auxiliary plus subject plus verb is a question about object. Okay, let me just check that you've understood this correctly. Okay, let me give you a sentence, and I'd like you to send me a subject question for this sentence. I'm just going to create a slide. So once again, I'm giving you a sentence, and I'd like you to give me questions. Okay, the sentence is Anna likes Mike. All right, now I'd like you to please send me a subject question for this sentence. Okay, perfect. Now, please send me the object question. The object question, please. Good, perfect. Yes, well done. Who does Anna like? Very well done. So the subject question is who likes Mike? The object question is who does Anna like? Very good. Now we're going to practice, but this time I'd like to make sure that you're all participating. So if you want me to put you into a breakout room, please go to the list of participants and click on yes on the green button so that it appears next to your name. All right, very good. I can see some people saying yes. Good, okay. I'll stop sharing the screen for a minute and I'll create a room. Now, while I'm putting you into breakout rooms, I'm going to give you 6 sentences which I'd like you to use for subject and object questions. Now, I'm sending those sentences into the chat now. While I'm putting you into rooms, please download those sentences. Okay. All right, please download the sentences. I'm putting you into rooms now. Okay. I need 1 minute. There is not a lot of you who want to participate, but we will be in rooms. Mhm. Okay, I think that's everyone. I hope that's all correct. Now, I'm going to put you into breakout rooms. If you have a problem, if you're not participating in work in breakout room, please put a no next to your name. I'm giving you 6 minutes to work on this, and I'm putting you into the rooms now. Okay, please go back to the rooms. You should receive an invitation now. I think you can download it.
No, chat. Yeah. I thought she was going to share the screen with us.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll send, don't worry, I'll send the
It's so
sentences
Susan.
once again.
Yes, I see. So someone came. We should ask хто побачив.
Okay. Who saw Susan? Who
Who?
saw Susan yesterday?
Yes.
Okay.
And when it's object.
Who saw Susan yesterday? Jack is going to see Susan tomorrow. Susan.
Hello.
Hello, how are we doing? Do you have the questions?
I'm okay, but there is silence. They don't speak.
Well,
They should turn on the sound.
okay, I'll try and unmute, but the problem is I can't unmute the people because I don't think they are participating. Right, okay, so all participants
By
are
the way, what is the task?
Okay, so the task is you have 6 questions, with 6 sentences, which I've given you. Your job is to write questions to find out the answers to X.
But where are the sentences?
The sentences were sent to you.
We can't see them.
They were sent to you into the chat. I'll send them once again. Have a look. Do you have them in the chat now? Can you download them?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, I'll go check a different breakout room.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you will do.
Okay. Who does Maria like?
Mm-hmm.
Or who
Like somebody.
likes? Блін.
Okay, so now we're back here. I'll just mute all of you. So we're back here and let's check the answers together. I'm going to share my screen with you and you're going to see the correct answers. Oh, Natalia is saying it could not work in pair. Unfortunately, that's because we have so many people here and some people are not participating. I'm very sorry about this. In a smaller group, definitely we'll make sure that everyone participates. Now, here is my screen. Have a look at the answers. Tell me if you agree with everything. If yes, send yes into the chat. If you don't agree, send the number of the question which you don't agree with. Okay, people are saying yes. Completely. Good. So what I'm going to do is take a screenshot and I'm going to send this screenshot into the chat so that you can access it later if you like, if you need. Okay, if you ever want to practice subject and object questions again, this is your chance. So the answers are in the chat now and you can check yourselves at any point. Let's move on. We have just a couple of minutes left. So next. The answer is the movie was directed by Michael Bay. What's the question? Can you send the question into the chat, please? We're moving on here. We're moving on to a new type of questions here. And I'll just wait to see what you say. I will then explain how these questions are formulated and we'll do a little bit of practice. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, I can see some interesting ideas. Who is the director of the movie? That's very correct, yes. People are saying who was the movie directed by. So the question I wanted to hear from you actually is who was the movie directed by? And here we're moving on to the questions with prepositions. And what I wanted to show you is that prepositions, the preposition place in the question and in the sentence. All right. So you can see that in the sentence, the preposition always goes sorry, the preposition always goes after the verb. And definitely the the preposition in the question will always go at the end of the sentence. And I'll show you a little task now. Have a look at my screen. Oops, I'll just mute everyone. Cool. Okay, so have a look at my screen. In number 2, the answer is the cake is for Steve. It's his 40th birthday today. Send the question into the chat, please. Can see some answers. Yeah, that's right. That's correct. Good. Number 3. The answer, let's move on to number 3. The answer is our office is close to the Radisson Blu Hotel. What's the question? Please send the question into the chat as always. Okay, I can see some interesting questions. Some people are saying, where is our office? Right, that's correct. The question I wanted to hear from you is, pay attention. What is your office close to? Okay, why your? If you think about the situation, yeah, we wouldn't normally ask a question about our office. Are we asking ourselves? Yeah, normally this would be a question to you, unless the context is a discussion between the people who are working in this office and they are talking about a common, a shared place. Yeah. All right, so the answer, the question I wanted to hear from you is, what is our office close to? Sorry, what is your office close to? Another possible question is, what is our office close to? All right, now, because we're running out of time, we're not going to do those exercises until the end. I'm going to send them to you along with the answers, so you can actually do them later. And one final thing I wanted to show you. Have a look at this. Oops. Have a look at this. What do you think? Oops. What do you think of the dress? Send your answers into the chat. What do you think of this dress? This is Whoopi Goldberg, by the way. I don't know if you remember this actress. I was just Googling through actresses and weird dresses today. Unusual. Okay, unusual. Do you like it? Is it even a dress? That's a good question. Yeah. Do you like it? Right. Okay, so my question to Google was an unusual dress. I don't really like unusual things. And this is what it gave me. So the conversation I had in my head is, what do you think of this dress? I don't like it. Yeah. And if you ask what exactly, to me, the answer would be the style, the colors, and everything. If you look at it, what exactly is a short question? Give me a full question, please. Send your question into the chat. Right, okay, the first question is correct. What exactly don't you like? Oops, that's right. What exactly don't you like? So if we have a negative sentence and we want to ask a clarification question about it, we would ask a negative question. Pay attention to the word order. Yeah, it remains question word what exactly, auxiliary, don't, yeah, subject you, and then like. Now be very careful with negative questions. The thing I wanted to show you. What's the difference between can you swim and can't you swim? All right. I'm not going to torture you with my questions any longer. I'm just going to explain. When you say, can you swim? It's a general standard question asking for information. Can't you swim? Very nice comment from Olena. I think you can. Yes, depending on the context. However, when you ask somebody, can't you swim? It sounds like a little bit of you're making fun of this person. Can't you swim? Really? It's so easy. Or like, can't you drive? Really? Everybody can. So negative questions should be used very, very carefully and in a limited amount, because native speakers normally use them to make fun of the other people. Can't you cook? Don't you know what lasagna is? Haven't you been to Italy? Really? I can't believe it. All right. Now, in a standard lesson, we would definitely get more practice of this, because this is a very, very short webinar in which we're just revising the types of questions. I don't have the time for this, unfortunately. However, the other thing is I can see that quite a lot of you are slightly higher in terms of the level, so you already know quite a lot of this. I still hope that this was useful in terms of revision. Now, as you know, because of the situation in the country, we have all moved online. So I'm just going to take 1 more minute of your time to say that we have moved our classes online as well. All right. Now, if you go to our website, and it's down here, cambridge.ua, you will see that we have a section on English online, and we have a list of online classes. Okay. Now, for those who have participated in the webinar today, if you pay for 1 semester, you get a 10% discount. If you pay for both semesters, this is 6 weeks, you get a 15% discount. The code for this is grammar, and you will receive this information in an email along with my slides and along with the handout, which I promised you. But if you want to join the course, register, say the code grammar to our office managers when speaking to them, say that you participated in this webinar, and we will calculate the discount for you. All right, I'll send you the link and all the details a little bit later. Now, if you have any questions, if you don't receive the slides or anything tomorrow, not today, if you want a consultation or anything, send an email to me. My email is kp@grade.ua. And thanks very much, everyone, for your participation today. And I hope to hear from you, and I hope to see you in one of our classes. Thank you. You're free to leave the meeting. If you have questions, please stay with me and send them into the chat. Thanks very much. Thank you. I'm just going to stay here for another 5 minutes in case you want to ask me anything. I'll be quiet unless I receive a question. Thank you. Thanks very much once again, everyone who joined us today. And remember, if you have questions, how to pronounce That's a very interesting question from Alex. Can you give me a sentence? I'll give you a sentence. Please say yes or no. Is the sentence, I watered the flowers? Is this the context? I just need to know what exactly you mean. Okay, yeah. So normally I would pronounce this word watered. Yeah, so the verb, yeah, watered, long O, yeah, and would not pronounce R if it's British English. Does that answer your question, or do you have more questions? You generally, you can pronounce R. Rolling R is more typical of American English, yeah? So in American English, you would say watered, yeah? In British English, you would say watered, yeah? In American English, you would say the word car. In British, you would say car. Nina is asking about weekend. What's your question about? Is your question about stress in this word? Nina, can you clarify, please? Alex, I hope this answered your question. If not, then please send me your question once again, okay? Nina, your question is about the stress, okay? So normally we say weekend. So when we say weekend, the stress would be on the second syllable. All right. Hope that answered your question. More questions, send them into the chat. If you have no questions, you're free to leave this meeting. Thanks very much. Thank you. I can see people are leaving gradually. Thanks very much for participating. And thank you all those who participated actively. Thank you. Oh, lovely to hear from my CELTs. Ladies, Kate, Olga, very, very happy to hear from you. Hope you're fine. Daniel, very happy to see you. Have a nice evening. Once again, thanks everyone for joining us. I will be ending this meeting. If you have questions, you have my email. Please send me an email. I'll be more than happy to help you. And you can always ask our teachers. I'm ending the meeting now. So thanks a lot. Thank you very much for being with us here today. Goodbye. Have a lovely weekend.